the stuff that I do is the one thing that I really enjoy because I like never put a price on memories. I like some of the memories that I've made like with my friends and like my boyfriend and people that I take with me at concerts. I would never get from anything else.
What attracts you to going to so many concerts?
Well, one being the fact that I'm completely obsessed with music. Like, there's never been like a time in my life where I like don't have like music going in the house. Like I grew up that way. My dad used to play Irish traditional banjo, so
Okay,
it's in my it's in my blood. But culture wise, like
okay.
you can't beat the atmosphere of like a really good gig because there's definitely a unity between like everyone that's there
Yeah, it's amazing.
in enjoying the same thing. Particularly when you're disabled as well. I find it's like when you're at a gig because everyone's there to enjoy the one thing, you don't notice you're disabled. In a lot of ways, with things like that, even for yourself, like persistence is key. Like if you have enough belief in yourself, like you'll get like you'll get as far as you want to achieve. I find like just giving his a go and then being stubborn with it seems to get me places.
Like I'm into stand-up comedy a lot, and so
Yeah, yeah,
I think this, I think the experiences are kind of similar in that it takes about 10 years of hustle and like no one caring about you to like reach the top. And the thing is that a lot of people quit after like 2 or 3 years because sometimes it
exactly.
is not worth it. Like you need to work and you need the money and the grind is so much that it's just not worth it, and you gotta stick it for the long haul. So yeah, it's really hard. Like you really need to be crazy to do this job. Like you gotta really believe in yourself and be crazy with it.
One of the things that I live by in my own life is to never be afraid to try because the amount of stuff
Hmm.
that I've gotten to do, the amount of stuff that I've gotten to do from just kind of going, ah, yeah, I'll give that a go and see what happens. More of that mindset, like, would definitely help a lot of people, I think, to be honest.
So I know you've been to so many concerts and stuff. So like, What was your favorite band or artist that you went to?
Definitely Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran.
Oh, okay. Is it because of his talent or is it because of his? Is he Irish? He's Irish, right?
His his dad's Irish, I think.
But what's also sucks about wheelchair users is that
Yeah,
the we're limited by what we can sit because like I'm sure you've been to concerts where you're like it'll be like $20 a ticket and you're like awesome, and it's like, oh no, that's all the way you're in the back. Like you gotta pay for a wheelchair
yeah,
ticket, and that would be like $100 or 150 euros for you. Like does
yeah.
that happen to you a lot?
So there's one particular venue here, right? I'm not gonna name it because I'll go off on a rant if I do. Um, so before COVID, right, they used to let the wheelchairs up to like the front of the standing area, so right at the barrier, right?
Okay.
And since COVID, they don't allow wheelchairs at the front of the barrier. And I've seen some of the best gigs that I've ever seen in my life.
What artist did you not like then? Like, who did you hate the most?
Oh, you're not gonna know who it is. There's an English guy called Ben Howard. He's like a acoustic singer songwriter, and he was really big here back in like I think it was 2012, 2013. And I loved his albums, and naturally I bought tickets to his gig, and it was just boring because
Yeah, you really do have a gift because sometimes like when going back to like the classical music, like
yeah,
they'll be playing songs that like I know of, like in their normal version, but when they play the classical version, I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening. Even if you
yeah,
told me that this song is playing,
yeah.
my brain doesn't like compute that like it's that song, if that makes sense.
I'd be the same that way with classical and country music. The way I view life is, I think this is down to how my parents have brought me up. The word no doesn't exist in my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, what way do we do this?
Yeah, I mean, anything in the world is really possible. Okay, not everything, but
Not
like
anything, yeah.
most things are pretty possible. It is something might just require a lot more work and such, and it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
at the end of the day, it's really up to you if you wanting to put the effort and deal with the stress to do something because it's up to you.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to my podcast, to my friend Joe Stooch. I am Joe Stooch. I'll be giving my today. She is my first Ireland guest who has cerebral palsy. She is a huge music lover, concert goer. She also loves the color purple by her purple glasses and purple literally everything else. Let's start with the music scene. How is the music scene in Ireland?
The music scene in Ireland is very small but incredibly passionate. Like,
Huh, okay.
in the sense of, like, obviously running a population of what? About between 3 and 5 million people. So, like, obviously you're from America, man, yeah? So, the population in America for music would be much wider, but I always find that when it comes to, like, Irish music and that like people seem to connect with, like, Irish music and Irish people particularly, like, on a very deep level from all over the world, and there's something really special about that.
Yeah, do a lot of, I'm not familiar with Ireland at all, so do a lot of musicians go to Ireland as on their world tours?
Yeah, like, off the top of my head, like, as you mentioned there, I love going to concerts. I've probably been to more than you could think of, like, easily well over, say, 2,000-3,000 in my lifetime. Like,
Oh, that's a
I'm
lot.
I'm obsessed. Like, I think this year alone I've gone to, I think we're at 36 concerts.
Whoa, that is a
That's
lot.
if nothing else gets added in.
Huh, it's weird. I only been to like 4 concerts in my whole lifetime, and I'm
Oh,
30, and
really?
yeah, and you've been to so many in just a year alone. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But now I guess the question is for you because when I go to concerts, they're pretty expensive. They're like $150. I don't know how
Yeah.
much that in euros, but I think euros is like I would say like 170 to 200 euros. But like, so a concert for you cheap out there then?
Not really. I spend a lot of my money on concerts.
Okay.
An awful lot of my money on concerts. Because it's, like, out of a lot of the stuff that I do, it's the one thing that I really enjoy, because I, like, never put a price on memories. And, like, some of the memories that I've made, like, with my friends and, like, my boyfriend and people that I take with me at concerts, I would never get from anything else.
So what do you like doing to the concert? Like, do you like the music of it, or do you like the atmosphere that it brings you? Because like going to a concert, like me not going to a concert for a very long time, and I've been to four in the past like 2 years. Like there's like an
Yeah,
atmosphere that's really like amazing that you really can like replicate like through a camera or like on a screen.
yeah.
So like, what attracts you to going to so many concerts?
Well, one being the fact that I'm completely obsessed with music. Like, there's never been, like, a time in my life where I, like, don't have, like, music on in the house. Like, I grew up that way. My dad used to play Irish traditional banjo, so
Okay,
it's in my blood. But concert wise, like,
okay.
you can't beat the atmosphere of, like, a really, really good gig, because there's definitely a unity between, like, everyone that's there
Yeah, it's amazing.
in enjoying the same thing, particularly when you're disabled as well. I find it's like when you're at a gig, because everyone's there to enjoy the one thing, you don't notice you're disabled.
Okay, so when you say you go to the concert, like how many people are like in a concert? Like, are you talking like smaller ones of like 100 to 200, or are you talking like where there are like thousands and thousands and thousands of people?
Well, I'd, I do both depending which artist I'm going to, but I personally prefer smaller gigs,
Okay.
like really, really intimate shows, because I think even if you were to ask most famous musicians, they'd tell you like that they prefer smaller gigs purely because there's more of a like connection to the person that you're seeing as well.
So I guess the question is, like I'm a Spotify person and I'm mostly listen to like, top artists and such. So like,
Yeah.
how do you find smaller artists then? Because it's so hard to find small artists when they're just being swallowed by these huge artists.
To be honest, these days, social media,
Okay.
and I'm lucky from my Irish music dance podcast that I do. I actually now have a lot of artists coming to me looking for the platform, or
Okay.
or like even stuff like I've gotten people that have done like support slots for gigs of bigger artists and stuff like that. So like it's kind of with the Irish scene in particular, everyone knows everyone. So it's like if you interview one person, they'll be able to pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah, I
It's
kind of
quite a
noticed.
it's a well knitted community.
Yeah, I noticed that when I interview like a lot of disabled people, it seems like when I follow like a brand new person, they like know someone else that has it, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it almost seems like a small world out there, even though
yeah,
there's like billions of people out there. But like, it's so weird how like someone knows that person. It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's only when you do these things and put yourself out there you kind of realize that the world in its actuality is really, really small.
Yeah, but you must have a much different music scene in Ireland versus like I don't know, let's say a different country or city like London or like let's say somewhere in Spain or even the United States. Like there's so much different bands and I mean we can also say there are a lot of bands that are doing stuff but like they did never make it. Like they did never get that. I guess it is luck really to get that big
Yeah.
label sign and hear that sound.
Even here, like, there's a lot, like, even in this country particularly, there's a lot of luck that goes into to getting signed in this country, I think, as an Irish artist. Like, that's why a lot of the people I interview are like independent and doing their own thing because I want to be able to show I want to be able to show that we are such a small country, but
Hmm.
we have so many musicians that get overlooked as well.
There's really an endless supply of artists and bands and
Yeah,
musicians that like you like just your country alone, but then all the other countries are competing with each other and
yeah,
it's kind of crazy like how many are really trying to fight for that, like the top 1% of, like world tours and all that and like I
yeah,
want like it's really also very depleting too because you're playing for a crowd of what 10 people 20 people like you don't know like maybe you think you're good but like maybe not everyone can do it and it's like
yeah,
it's really defeating to keep trying and trying where like no one cares. Like I feel like doing my YouTube channel and such like there'd be videos where I'll get like 10 views and like do I just stop or like do I keep going like is there like am I good enough to make it to the big leagues, the big concerts?
yeah,
It's like you
yeah.
really don't know.
I think in a lot of ways, with things like that, even for yourself, like persistence is key. Like if you have enough belief in yourself, like you'll get like you'll get as far as you want to achieve. I find like just giving his a go and then being stubborn with it seems to get me places.
Well, do you know anyone that you met that was smaller and are a lot bigger now?
So not from like my own experiences of interviews, but just from like a general musician point of view. So even if you look at Ed Sheeran, he did like something mental, like 500
Mm-hmm.
gigs in a year. And at the start, when nobody knew who he was, he used to do like 3 shows a night. And then you look at him now, and he's the one of the biggest pop stars in the world.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran's like a very kind of weird character. Like, I don't know, like I think his fame is very like unconventional in a way. I feel like he's cool, but I feel like he's a little awkward sometimes. I don't know, like this, like I don't know how he was able to manage together. Like I don't listen to him that much, so I can't really say. But I think he's very talented. I just wonder why he got the magic, I guess, push,
To
versus
be
so
on,
many other people. It's very
to
strange.
be to be honest, like I said there, I think it's the work ethic end of things. If you were willing to work hard at something enough,
Mm.
even on the days that you feel shit about it and want to give up, like the results are gonna come from somewhere eventually, aren't they?
Yeah, it's really hard to say because I know, like I'm into stand-up comedy a lot, and so
Yeah, yeah,
I think this, I think the experiences are kind of similar in that it takes about 10 years of hustle and like no one caring about you to like reach the top. And the thing is that a lot of people quit after like 2 or 3 years because sometimes it
exactly.
is not worth it. Like you need to work and you need the money and the grind is so much that it's just not worth it, and you gotta stick it for the long haul. So yeah, it's really hard. Like you really need to be greedy to do this job. Like you gotta really believe in yourself and be crazy with it.
There's definitely like a high level of commitment to these things, because even like people that reach the top of their game and all of these things, like the people that go and watch these shows and stuff will never, like, might not be aware of like the years of like hard grind that somebody had to put in to be on those
Yeah,
stages. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Like they just think like, oh, he just blew up overnight or something, or
Yeah.
like yeah, you never followed them. But a lot of the musicians that we see, I think Ed Sheeran, I don't think he's been doing it that long that he got a easier break, but I know there are some musicians that have been hustling for 5, 10 years, and then all of a sudden they blew up, and like you think, oh, like they just started. Now some started when they were like 15 years old, and like they didn't make it to like 25 or 30. Like, an example is like Machine Gun Kelly. Like he's been out there grinding for 10 plus years, and he's finally starting to get his roses. I
Yeah, I
know
get you.
I know Lizzo also been working for a very long time, and like people who don't know that, they did see like the aftermath of it and like, oh, like yeah, she got it because you can't kind of blame it on any specific parts of like. So let's say it's a woman artist, like you couldn't be like, oh, like she got it because she's a woman or she's beautiful or
Yeah,
but like most of the musicians have been, most of any artist in any medium have been, they've been doing it for a very long time, and like no one sees that, and it's, but it also pisses me off in a way, and like I'm sure a lot of others, that people that
yeah.
blow up overnight or like
Mm,
blow up like within a year, and it's like, are you kidding me? I've been working for 10 years and I finally get my roses, and then like the person
yeah.
works for like a year or something and they just blow up, and it's like they didn't have to work as hard, and it's like, are you kidding me? It sucks.
Yeah. Some people just get lucky, don't they?
Yeah, like it's the internet really like ruined, it like helped but like ruined like fandom in a way, because I know like
Yeah,
Justin Bieber, he wasn't really actively trying to like become famous or anything. I think there's some guy found him on a YouTube channel like, hey, I wanna
yeah.
be your manager and like help you get to the next level, and now he's just like the number one artist in the world. Like he just got lucky. So, but
I think the like organic ways of music, let's call it like that, doesn't exist anymore because of social media.
I think it's organic. It's just very, very luck based.
Mm,
Like you always look up to this one artist to be like, oh, he got lucky. Like he made one video and he got lucky and went viral and everything. But like you have to realize that there are like millions of other people who are, might even be better than that person, but they just never got that lucky break. And it's
Yeah.
just I think sometimes you just have to look inside yourself and like, there are people that are lucky and make it, and there are people that are just don't make it. Like I'm sure you know artists that are really, really good, and like sometimes they're better than artists that have millions of
Yeah.
followers, but
Yeah.
like they just don't have that. They just don't have luck on their side, unfortunately.
Like, one of the things that I live by in my own life is to never be afraid to try, because the amount of stuff
Hmm.
that I've gotten to do, the amount of stuff that I've gotten to do from just kind of going, ah, yeah, I'll give that a go and see what happens. More of that mindset, like, would definitely help a lot of people, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the mindset of a lot of musicians are just going out there, and a lot of people are saying like, oh, like you'll never make it, or you're too weird or whatever. But like
Yeah.
they're also the ones actively going out there and like failing and trying over and over again. It's like, yeah, it looks like they're like struggling, but like they're actually going out there living their dreams. Where you're not trying
Exactly.
anything. Like you're just sticking to the old routine that's kind of boring. Like I don't want a boring life. Do you want a boring
Yeah.
life?
No, definitely not. My life is far from boring, but
Yeah. So let's talk about artists then. Like, so I know you've been to so many concerts and stuff. So like, what was your favorite band or artist that you went to?
definitely Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran.
Oh, okay.
That's how I knew all that random stuff about him.
Uh, is it because of his talent or is it because of is he Irish? He's Irish, right?
His his dad's Irish, I think. Like, he's got family scattered all over the country, I think. But
Okay.
I don't like. I think he might be half Irish.
Yeah, he definitely has some Irish in him, so I'm sure he made that concert really special, but also I'm sure those tickets were very, very, very expensive.
Man, we're not even gonna talk about how expensive they were.
Like,
Like, ridiculous.
yeah, like I don't. There were some concerts I did want to go to, but I was like, like some artists are amazing. I understand their talent, but sometimes it's just not worth three
See,
hundred dollars to see them for 2, 3 hours. It's not worth it.
no, it's not. And to be honest, tickets are getting like worse now than they ever were.
Yeah, it's really like I remember like Taylor Swift is and like concert tickets are like $400 minimum, and the people paying like tens of thousands of dollars for them. I'm just like, I guess
It's
how
crazy.
yeah, I get how like sure she's an amazing artist. I'm sure I'd be entertained, but like to spend $400 on tickets for her, like it's just too much. Like I would have to be really obsessed with her to really want to go. But like I'm not obsessive enough about any person. I would rather spend $400. Because four hundred
Yeah,
dollars is a lot. Like that's like
yeah, exactly.
this is not worth it for 3 hours, and uh, it's just not worth it. It's really sucks. But what also sucks about wheelchair users is that
Yeah,
the we're limited by what we can sit because like I'm sure you've been to concerts where you're like it'll be like $20 a ticket and you're like awesome and it's like oh no that's all the way you're in the back like you gotta pay for a wheelchair
yeah,
ticket and that would be like $100 or €150 for you. Like does
yeah.
that happen to you a lot?
So there's one particular venue here, right? I'm not gonna name it because I'll go off on a rant if I do. Um, so before COVID, right, they used to let the wheelchairs up to like the front of the standing area, so right at the barrier, right?
Okay.
And since COVID, they don't allow wheelchairs at at the front of the barrier. And I've seen some of the best gigs that I've ever seen in my life in that venue prior to this. Like,
Okay.
but the way they do it now is you're in a box that raises up,
Okay.
but you're like really far down the back. So it's kind of like
Mm,
if you've had the really good experience before, it's kind of shit to go
mm.
into like a box that raises up that's also in front of a bleeding pillar, so you can't see anything.
I've never been to a concert like that, but I do see like them in pictures and stuff. It does suck because like I mean I totally get like you don't want like a pillar in the middle of a concert because like you're blocking everyone behind you, so I get to the access.
Exactly.
And it's very hard to like accommodate wheelchair users. It's like it's either do you sit all the way in the back, or
Yeah.
like do you put yourself to the side? So like would you rather be all the way in the back or would you rather be on the side closer?
If if it was like my choice for every venue, and we didn't have like the access wasn't like the issue, I would always want to be up the front because it's just in experience you get like nothing else, to be honest. I find.
Do you do you find the front too much to the front because sometimes you kind of wanna. It kind of sucks. Like I don't know if you ever had this experience, but like some artists, the way they made their concerts. Sometimes some artists do where like you have to stay in the middle of the concert to really like appreciate like the stage. Because sometimes they have like a lot of screens, and stuff, so you
Yeah,
can't see. So if you're on the side, sometimes you can only see like half of it, and
yeah.
sometimes it's like it really sucks.
See, in any of the venues here that I've been like right up the front for, like
Mhm.
you can see the whole stage, like whether you're in the middle or at the side. So like it doesn't matter. But I get what you were saying about like particular like I presume you're talking about like comedy club venues and stuff where that would be an issue probably.
So let's think we talked about your favorite artist of the cheering.
Yeah.
What artist did you not like then? Like, who did you hate the most?
Oh, you're not gonna know who it is. There's an English guy called Ben Howard. He's like a acoustic singer songwriter, and he was really big here back in like I think it was 2012, 2013, and I loved his albums. And naturally, I bought tickets to his gig, and it was just boring because I was kind of like I literally could have stayed at home and listened to a CD. That's what it was like because he didn't really speak around, so there was no like interaction with the crowd.
Okay.
It was just a bit bland. I was just like, I probably should have stayed home, which is like I never really get that feeling from concerts. I've only ever had that twice.
Yeah, I don't know. Your description of saying calling it boring was just, I don't know, this is hilarious to me. Anyway,
Why?
that's- I don't know. It's not something you want to like add an artist like that's something you don't want to hear like you're boring like this. I don't know. This is hilarious to me how you said it. But yeah, I mean, every artist kind of has a different like, there's some where like entertainers where they're like dancing and like singing and like all these things, and there are some where we're just like. They're just playing guitar and doing that. Like I know, like I, I think like someone like John Mayer, he just sits on a
Yeah,
chair and to play the guitar the whole thing. But like he's also really talented.
that's
I
the
w-
difference, though. That's the difference. Is that he like? I'm actually going to see him next year on my birthday. Funnily enough,
oh, okay.
because I think he's only ever been here a handful of times, and I've never been able to catch him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And like that, like he can afford to do that because he's immensely talented. But like some people, you just look and go, you could have spoke a bit more as well. Do you know what I mean?
hmm.
I like when artists involve the crowd because it's like you're in the show with them then as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're the one that pays your bills, really. So the least
Exactly.
you can do is interact with them.
Because, like, you're not just paying to listen to music. As I said earlier, you're paying for an experience and,
Yeah.
like, memories that you're going to hold with people that you love forever.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry you had that shitty experience, but yeah. Yeah, I think maybe he just thought he was like another John Mayer, but like, yeah, I do. Like, I went to my friend So I don't know if you have it in your area, but what's pretty popular in here in New York is that there'd be candle lit concerts.
They've
Yeah,
started to do. They've started to do them here.
yeah. So it's been popular here within like the last year or two, or maybe it was popular and I just noticed it now. Well, anyways, that
Yeah.
so my friend bought me tickets to a classical of a hip hop, and like I'm
Okay.
open. So I'm open to new experiences. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Same.
I wouldn't have picked it because I don't like classical. I don't like classical too much, but like, hey, I'm open to it. Yeah, anyway, so she bought me tickets to the classical hip hop, and like, I was so bored during it that like, the only thing that like helped me like stay sane with like the guy, like the host or whatever, was he was funny and like he would talk between like the songs. And like
Yeah.
that was the only thing that was like holding me on like not wanting to leave the venue. Like
Oh, it
he
was
yeah,
really
stuff. I
bad,
mean,
you know.
they're really talented. It was just not my style at all, or
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway. And so I was just like, I just love the comedy bit. I know he wasn't trying to be funny at all or anything, but it was just, I don't know, it was just funny to me that I liked the more of the comedy parts than the actual music.
At least that
But
saved it for you, though. Like at least it wasn't a completely boring experience for that reason. I like when stuff like that
I
happens.
was really bored by it. Like I generally was really bored by it. Like I was like waiting for it to end. Like I was like hear like final song. I'm like, thank God. Like I want to get out of here.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know it's a bad sign when you're thinking that towards the end of a gig.
Yeah, but it wasn't a gig problem though. It's really a me problem, so I can't blame them for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I would never ever go again. I would go to a candlelit, but they have so many different kinds. Like they have ones where it's like more like I don't know, more musical, not classical. So I'm open
Yeah.
to it again. But I was with my friends, so like at least I
Yeah, you
could.
kind of had to go.
Not even that, but like I'm just happy to be with her too and just like enjoy it. And I
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really rough. But yeah, I can yeah, it just sucks to pay for something that's like sucks, like
Yeah.
boring, like you can't imagine. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine like you paying $100 or $200. That's how much tickets are these days. I live in New York, I live in Manhattan, so everything's expensive. And like
Mm.
I don't know about you, but like my venues are really small. So like like it's a small venue and a lot of people are wanting to go, so obviously tickets will rise up
Yeah.
because like Drake concert tickets was here for like $300-400 starting
That's
point. I'm like,
mental.
I like him a lot, but I'm not gonna pay that much.
Yeah. Nah.
But
Nah.
but yeah, like I wish I was good go. I don't know. I think I just put out more people to go with too. Because the other half of the experience is not just going to the concert, but also being with someone that enjoyed it too. And
That's
talk
the th-
about it.
that's the thing that I love about going to gigs is that like the people that I go with, like my friends and my boyfriend and that, like to be able to like share those experiences after is something we'll remember forever. Do you know what I mean?
Do you ever go to a concert and like I don't know, let's say you go to an artist that you really like, and then you go to their concert and you realize you don't know half the songs they're playing.
That doesn't happen to me because I'm obsessed with music and I know
Uh,
anything that I go and listen to. My boyfriend, however, completely different story because he just gets dragged everywhere with me. It's like I don't know half of these, but I'm gonna go with it anyway.
yeah. I mean, there's some artists that are just very entertaining. They're like, even if you don't care about them, you'll at least be entertained by them. Like I went to see like Lady Gaga, for example, and she was an amazing
Yeah,
show that I
I'd say that was interesting, alright. I've heard she puts on a good show. I haven't seen her though.
oh you should definitely see her. She's an amazing artist. Like, even like you couldn't care less about her music. Like my mom, I went with my mom, and she like
Mm.
knows one or two songs, but like just if you're just entertained by like the music, but also just like the raw talent, but like the
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
and
yeah.
like she really puts on a show. like an entertaining show that it
Yeah.
just flies by.
I've
Like,
heard Pink is like that as well. Partly.
uh,
I haven't seen her though.
I do know that I think she does like a trappy kind of stunt. I don't know if she does it at all concerts or what her what her style is, but I don't care enough about Pink to ever see her. Like
Cause
someone would have to like pay me to see her, you know?
yeah, no, I know what you mean. But anyone that's went to see her has said to me, like, you need to go to a Pink concert. I was like, alright.
Yeah, I mean, if
Depends.
someone bought me tickets, I'd be like, I'll go. Like, I'm open to see. I think she's a good artist. Like, I only know like two songs by her, but I don't know.
Yeah.
May, but then again, I don't know. Maybe I'd be like, unless she's doing like a lot of like cool shit. I don't know. I feel like I might be bored with her because I just don't know the song. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like you're not really supposed to be there, you know?
Yeah. You kind of feel like that you shouldn't be there because you only know like two songs or
Mm,
something. And then there's like people that really want the tickets.
yeah, and then like you
Yeah.
like she'll play her song that you really like, and you're blown away by it, but then afterwards it's kind of like, like oh, I'm okay now. Like I can just go home and I'll be fine, you know?
See, that's something again, unless I get dragged to a show I don't want to go to, which very rarely ever happens. Like if you were to ask anyone that knows me really well, I know every lyric to every song of every concert that I go to.
Oh, okay.
I'm weird with it. I'm really strange.
I mean, you just have the lyrical gene to you, I guess, because I thought I knew a lot of songs, and then when I went to sing them, and the concept was like, I have not been getting the lyric correct, and I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. And they kind of go, nah, 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 I just kind of like mumbled my way through,
Yeah. We've all been victims to that though. Wouldn't worry about that, even me.
Yeah,
But I'm real
but
weird when it comes to music in the sense of you can play like the first note of something and I'll know exactly what it is. It freaks my boyfriend out all the time. He's like, how did you get that within 1 second? My brother calls my brain like a musical encyclopedia.
yeah, you really do have a gift because sometimes like when well, going back to like the classical music, like
Yeah,
they'll be playing songs that like I know of, like in their normal version, but when they play the classical version, I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening. Even if you
yeah,
told me that this song is playing,
yeah.
my brain doesn't like compute that like it's that song. If that makes sense.
I'd be the same that way with classical and country music. I'm not mad at country music either. I don't get it.
You don't like country music?
No, and
Oh no.
I knew you were going to question that because I know Americans love country music. I don't
It's
get it.
great.
I
I
don't
think
get
the
it.
concerts are really good
I don't get it.
from what
Nah,
I've seen.
it's it's boring to me.
Oh
I
no.
don't, man. I don't get it. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry.
No, I totally get it. I feel like it'd be more entertaining. I feel like you'd be more if you went to a country concert. I feel like you'd be more entertained than by that guy that you said you hated, that you thought was really boring.
I'd probably be entertained by it, but like as a genre of music, I'm just like no.
Okay. You're gonna
Do
get
you
a
know what
lot
I
of
mean?
hate. You're gonna get a lot of hate from the music crowd because country is the shit here. It's awesome. And
I
just
knew
keep going.
I knew myself I was gonna get a lot of hate for saying that from from like American music enthusiasts, but here we are.
Well, I mean, we're also living in two totally different countries, so. Yeah. Do you even have country music in your area, or is it more like
We do no,
American just trend?
no, we do, we do. We have our own kind. Well, not really. It's kind of like it, like I live in our capital, right? But if you go further down the country, like they have their kind of own like version of country music that's kind of similar to yours, which I also still can't get behind because I just have no interest in it. But yeah,
Okay. I found your weakness. Okay, okay, I like
yeah.
it. So like you been to so many concerts, so like, would you say like all the concert venues are accessible in 2023, or have you ever had any horror stories?
The one thing I will say about this country specifically, and you can tell me whether America's like this because I actually don't have the answer to this because I've never asked anyone before. So, in our concert venues in this country, there is no changing places toilets with hoists and stuff. Do you have them
Okay.
over there?
We have wheelchair accessible toilets and such, but no like hoist or anything like that. That never
Because
happens.
because me and my boyfriend went to London on holiday there like 3 weeks ago, and we went to meet a British band called Busted. I guarantee if I send you their music afterwards, you'll know they're there because they were massively big about 15 years ago. But the Jonas Brothers did a cover of one of their songs, Year 3000 as well. But but yeah, we went to meet them in a venue in um England, and it was I had to go to the toilet, and it was the first time I'd ever been in like a concert venue that had like a toilet with a hoist in it. Like that has never happened.
Hmm. Sorry to hear that. I do know I don't use the bathroom much, so I can't really like comment on. But I would think like the big venues are pretty wheelchair accessible for the most part because like if you're getting like 20,000 people per night, then they have to make it accessible, you know.
They have like your standard accessible toilet with like grab rails and stuff like that, but like there's no like hoist or anything like that. Which for me, as somebody that has to use a hoist to be transferred, is like obviously
I don't
not
I
very
don't think
accessible.
there's any toilet in America in a venue that has a hoist at all. No?
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I never seen it, never saw it through social media at all. So I'm kind of a little weird, I guess. I don't know if weird is the right word, but very amazed that some some bathrooms would have it because that's a pretty big ask to have in a bathroom.
This would, and I would be of a similar thought process to you, but when we went to London and we were out like doing stuff, like going around attractions and stuff, and like just out for the day, kind of wandering around, it was so easy to find a toilet that had ice in it. It made my
Huh.
it made my trip so much easier.
Wait, like when you say hoist, you mean like something that lifts you up and from a chair to the toilet?
Yeah,
Huh? Then no, I never. Wow, I'm okay. I don't think that really exists in the United States at all. Like there are wheelchair accessible toilets and such, with the grab bars and like the way toilet
yeah,
seat and the bigger, bathroom, but never seen it. That is something that never happened. Like I went to a accessible fashion show and that didn't even happen either. So like I don't think
yeah.
that.
It's not something a lot of people think of or would know that they're able to be made a thing either. Joe, sorry.
I mean, I just think they're non-existent in the United States, so it's interesting that it does exist in your area. So, okay.
Yeah, because now in Ireland there's only like 25 like public places registered to have toilets with ice in them. But
Okay.
whereas when we went to London, I think there was Jesus something like well over 1,000,
I
which
mean,
is crazy.
maybe your country is much more um, accessible forward than we are. Maybe I don't know. Now I wonder what. I kind of wonder why they pushed it to have it in your areas and not maybe it's not as desirable. I mean, I feel like in the United States, kind of a luck thing to have a wheelchair accessible bathroom when you're just happy to have one. Like,
Yeah,
to ask for a hoist is like a really big ask that you
Yeah,
just kind of want to minimize. You just glad you have a space so like that's a little bigger for a wheelchair and it has grab bars and like you're happy with that for the most part.
that's why. Cause like when we were in London, we met up with two of our like English friends as well, and they were like surprised at like how amazed me and my boyfriend were the fact that uh like London had like toilets or like toilets that had hoists because they're very non-existent here. Like
Yeah,
it's very few and far between.
yeah. So let's talk about traveling for you because I know that you and your boyfriend are both wheelchair users and
Yeah,
that can be a headache for a lot of people. So like,
massively.
how is your traveling trips have been? Like, are they pleasant for you or is it like stressful that something you try to avoid?
Uh, we don't do avoiding anything just because I feel like that's given in to
Mm-hmm.
a lot of to a lot of stereotypes that the world tries to put on us already. But in the sense of like, so for example, when we went to London, we managed to actually find a hotel that had a hoist, which again we were shocked by because that doesn't exist here, and that actually made our whole trip a whole lot easier. But like in terms of like I've travelled completely on my own before,
Okay, I mean that's
like
huge.
without carers around.
I mean that's impressive. That's amazing that you're able to do that.
It's one it's one of these things I'm very like because to be honest, I don't know whether it's the same in America. In this country, getting care is a battle of itself.
I mean it's bad everywhere.
Yeah. So like I never like limiting myself. So if I'm
Yeah.
able to do, if I'm able to do as much like obviously I do need like help with a lot of stuff, but like for the things that I can do, I will try and do it myself.
No,
So
yeah,
like
you want to be
so like
independent as possible.
yeah. So like traveling on my own, I've done about 6 times, like flying wise, and then
Mm,
that time that I went with my boyfriend, um, that was his first time to like leave the country on his own with his parents as well. But we like we found so many ways to just kind of adapt and overcome. But obviously, like you're the usual, you're worried that the chair is gonna get smashed or something because that happens a lot on airlines.
yeah, stressful, and I mean kudos to you for attempting to go and actually do it like 6 times. You know,
I don't
that's
see a lot.
impressive.
I don't like the way I view life is. I think this is down to how my parents have brought me up. The word no doesn't exist in my head.
Hmm.
It's more, what way do we do this?
Yeah, I mean anything in the world is really possible. Okay, okay, not everything, but
Not
like
anything, yeah, but
most things are pretty possible. It is something might just require a lot more work and such, and it's
yeah,
like
exactly.
at the end of the day, it's really up to you if you wanting to put the effort and deal with the stress to do something because it's up to you.
Yeah, but like
It's out there.
obviously, like it happened when you're disabled. We pre-planned as much as we could beforehand, like
Yeah, but
trains and travel wise and all that sort of
there's
stuff.
always those question marks of like stuff shit that will happen that you kind of prepare for, but like you really can't prepare for until it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can get stressful as fuck.
So like an example for us would be we were supposed to get one direct train back to the airport when we were coming home. Like when we were going to Gatwick Airport, right? But the lift in the train station was broken. So instead of getting one train like we were supposed to get back to the airport, we ended up having to get four.
Oh my God.
We've just about made our flight.
Gee, that's a lot of extra variables in there.
Oh,
You have
I
to
was,
have it.
to be honest, man, I
Horrible.
was having a meltdown.
Yeah, because you're not only you're relying on one now, you're worried about, if you get on one train, you have to worry that the three other trains will work properly. Oh my God, I know.
Yeah, yeah, like, I'll be honest, I never want to have to do that again.
Yeah, like I can totally, I know like I think more people are wanting to be like, independent and such, but like there's also all the headache that comes with it. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. It's no isn't really in my vocabulary. Like we're gonna do it no matter what it takes because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, you don't really worry about the shit you've been through. You just remember like the memory you have. Like let's say you went on a trip to a concert. Like you remember
yeah,
the concert, you don't really remember all the shit getting there and then getting back.
yeah, exactly.
So like that's really how I think about it. Like you don't care about the journey, you care more about the destination, and then you forget about the rest.
The way I look at it is, in terms of like having a disability, like obviously having a physical disability, your body gives you like limitations enough as it is, but your mindset doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I always strive for it to be realistic about yourself. Like I said before, like yeah, there's so many things you can do, but you also have to realize like this stress. And then, I mean, you also kind of have to be smart about it too. Get like you mentioned with the train, like you kind of have to think of the plan B. Like if you're not smart, and the train doesn't work, like you have to think of like what else do I have to do to like get home because
Yeah,
like you can't miss your flight or you're really fucked.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So let's finish up with your love for, I think the sport is called Bocia, right?
Watch it.
Bacha? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh, yes, I have here that you have won actually second place in the ParaOlympics, so congrats on that. Do you have
That's actually
any?
that's actually not correct. I think you're getting confused there. I haven't been to Paralympics yet, but it's my hope to hopefully
Oh,
hopefully make LA in 2028. I think it is.
oh, so it was like a local tournament, I guess.
Yeah, so that one was just like a open competition. So I've
Uh,
actually like I've been aware of bocce since I was about 8 years old. I'm 26 now, and when I was 16, I wanted to try and like make a proper kind of go of it and like achieve by high level.
yeah, it's a sport you can definitely do.
And I actually managed to do it. So I met one of the guys that is actually my teammate now, and he used to be a former world champion back in the day. And I met him at like a Paralympics, kind of like, like a open day where you try a bunch of different sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was kind of from there, within 6 months after doing that, I was on the Irish panel going to the Europeans in Spain at the age of 16.
So you got second place. Well, when you say you're on a team, so your team got second place, right?
No, so bocce can be played in bocce can be played individually and in team setting. So that that competition that you saw the medal for was me doing an individual competition just in a different county here. So it was only like a small thing, but I hadn't pl- but I hadn't played in 4 years. So I kind of like left to go and pursue university and had a couple of other things going on in my personal life that didn't allow me to do it for a couple of years. But I've recently kind of came back to it and want to make achieving and get into Paralympics an aspiration again. Hopefully.
I mean, it seems like a fun sport to do, and like I know we're kind of saying like we can't say no for an answer, but I think we have to realize our limitations of disability people, like we obviously can't compete with normal people, but I do know
Yeah,
like Bocia had I think like the requirements are that you have to have like a nervous disorder of some kind or cerebral palsy of some kind. So it's kind
yeah,
of like perfect for you that like you're everyone's kind of on a plane able. It's
yeah,
kind of hard to put disabled people on an even playing field because
yeah,
I'm sure there are people that have cerebral palsy that are better than you, and but then there are people that are probably worse than you too. So it's hard to kind of keep it even, you know?
yeah. CP is kind of a strange disability in that way, in the sense of like you look at somebody with CP that can walk and be like, you kind of look and go, do you actually have CP? And then I'm kind of like in the middle, where like
Hmm.
obviously I need a lot of help, like practical wise and personal care and stuff. But then
Yeah.
like there's the other side of CP where like people can be like non-verbal and stuff like that and not able to do anything for themselves at all. So it's quite a mixed bag disability depending on how it affects you really.
Yeah, it's always hard to for any tournament of any kind to have it even, like do I put a do you put a handicap on a cerebral palsy person that's better than you to even like you really can't tell. So it's always it's
Yeah,
I mean like I never competed in like a Paralympics or a tournament like that, but
yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of like, oh, he beat me because they're in
yeah,
this better shape than I am, and like there's nothing I
yeah.
can do to, you know.
like every major sport, there's like different classification divisions depending on your disability.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
so
I mean,
so mine, for example, would be BC1, right? So I'm the most severe of cerebral palsy throwers,
okay.
and I have an assistant on court to hand me the balls and stuff like that. Or if I was to play from a manual chair, they'd move and position me around the box and stuff like that. Or like
Hmm.
if I slip, Jove, I'm thrown and I slip down in my chair, they're allowed like lift me back up and assist me in that way. Whereas if you look at the next classification, so BC2, they're not entitled. They're not entitled to an assistant because they have uh what way to put it
They have the
much better.
ability to help themselves.
Yeah, so they have better range of movement that can like pick the ball up
Well,
without pick the ball up without assistance and stuff like that. And then you've got
huh,
BC and then you've got BC trees, which are people that play with a ramp. So people will use like a head pointer or that to like propel the ball down a ramp.
okay.
And then BC fours are other disabilities that are usually the likes of muscular dystrophy or spina bifida. So people that would have like full upper body strength usually and no spasticity, but do have like some sort of muscle weakness. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, so I'm just pretty much informed that there are different levels of, I guess,
Impairment, like yeah,
yeah, like there. So it's more like the way I'm thinking that it can be like lopsided, but they made it so that it seems more even that you're actually competing with your
yeah,
equal and this
yeah,
because obviously the better version of you is gonna win almost every time. But
yeah,
then again, maybe not because it requires also like, accuracy and like skill too. It's not just a luck based. So like
a
I
lot of
can
it is
some
down to tactics and how you think things out as well. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you can tactically outplay somebody even if you're not physically better than them sometimes. Because if you kind of get in somebody's head, they're gone.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't like on paper, yeah, they'll probably be better, but doesn't always mean that I will be better. Yeah, like requires skill and
Exactly.
yeah, it's a game. Like you never know. Like
Because even,
it's
for example, with reference to that competition that you were seeing the medal of there, I hadn't competed in 4 years. I think only like a handful of people had seen me train once. Nobody expected me to do well up from that, but I ended up coming second.
oh,
Do you know
okay.
what I mean?
Well, keep. Yeah, keep killing it. I mean, if you're good at it, you might as well do it and just like say no to and become the win gold and be an Irish representative. That'd be really cool to do.
Like, I've got it's getting to represent my country in sport over the years has been like I've had some of the coolest adventures ever. So like I've gotten to travel all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, I would if you have a sport that you're good at, like it seems like you're good at it and you understand it and like you seem good at it. So yeah, keep going at it. Like I mean, the opportunity must be amazing. Like not just meeting like for you it'd be traveling. I think you just not only do you like the concert, but I think you like traveling too a lot. And like obviously you're limited by your disability. I
Yeah.
know you say your disability is not a limitation, but
Obviously it
I'm
is in ways, yeah.
yeah, like I'm sure if you didn't have a disability, you'd be traveling more. So
Yeah.
if someone's gonna pay for your travel, it's like you might as well do it, but you're gonna do it, and then also they understand you too. That you're in a community that understands you and like will work with you too. So it's not as like I'm sure they'll have like the hotel that has what you need and stuff. So it's not all the stress is not on you. Like some of the stress is lifted, and you can be more focused on the game and having fun and I don't know, see more Ed Sheeran concerts or something.
Like some of the people like that I've met from around the world over the years, like have been in my life for 10 years, and like
Mm.
I've got some really solid friendships from that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you seem to be killing it, and you have like your niches of likes, and you've been killing it. I mean, kudos for you for living your life. Like, um, we get start. I'm sure we meet people that are just not living, like but but then again, they don't. Sometimes they don't have that, the motivational spirit to wanting to go out there because.
yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. It's definitely a mindset thing.
Yeah, so before I take the mic away from you, is there anything you want to say? Promote any words of wisdom, no winning lottery numbers? The mic is all yours.
Man, I've had to win a lottery numbers. I'd use them myself. Um, so just to reference back to my own work. So I have two podcasts. One is called Irish Music Gems, the podcast with Niamh Dunphy, and where I review up and coming Irish musicians. The other one is called In the Industry with Niamh Dunphy, where I interview people from creative industries about the work that they do. I also have a TikTok account called Gigability, where I review gigs from the perspective of a wheelchair user. So yeah, just check those out and please follow me and follow my content, and I hope you enjoyed the journey along the way.
All right, thank you, Nev, for so much for giving me your time and expertise. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and I'll see everyone next time. Peace.